Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Karen Rice. I'm going to be painting a loose watercolour painting of some beautiful jasmine. And for a full list of the materials I'm going to use and the colours with alternatives, check out the description below. I've also included Amazon links if you'd like to purchase any of them. So, shall we get started? This is the reference photograph that I'll be using in this tutorial, and a link for this can be found in the description below. I've sketched my painting and I've actually put some masking fluid on around the edges just so I can keep some lighter areas. For anyone that's interested in the sketch outlines, why not think about joining my Patreon membership? A link for this can be found in the description below. I'm working around the outside of the flowers to begin with, and I've wet certain areas just so I can paint wet on dry and a little bit of wet on wet. I'm using my size 10 black velvet brush, one of my favourite brushes, and I'm using Paynes grey, tiny touch of Prussian blue and some cadmium yellow pale, and I'm just sort of painting in sort of different mixtures, different sort of various colours, wet into wet, wet on dry. And what you can see now is I'm using my twig to scratch into the surface of the watercolour paper, and what happens is the paint runs into those lines and creates some dark marks. And I'm using an Emery board now, and thank you Eric from the memberships for this little tip, and my watercolour pencil to create some lovely textured marks. Make sure that you do this on damp paper so the little bits of pigments of the watercolour pencil sticks. So I'm going to work my way around the edges of these jasmine flowers with mixtures of light yellows, burnt siennas, the Paynes grey, bit of Quinacridone Gold, and I'm just going to have fun creating this loose painting. As you saw there, I've just chucked a little bit of salt on in the background to create some nice effects. And now I'm working in the centre of the flower using a little bit of yellow, touch of Paynes grey, little touch of burnt sienna, just to create some neutral colours. If you would like to watch longer tutorials with lots more voiceovers, why not think about the Patreon membership? You can cancel anytime. I've allowed my painting to dry and I'm just building up some darks around the flowers just to bring out those light areas. I'm using my size 10 brush, but you could use a smaller brush, whatever makes you comfortable. Just make sure you really load your brush with lots of paint. I'm using dark green, that's the Paynes grey with the yellow. I'm giving my brush a rinse now and just using some water to soften that dark there, just to blend it out into the background so you don't see a hard edge. And what I'm doing now is I'm mixing up a little bit of yellow with the Paynes grey and I'm just spattering in the background. Now, if you're worried about your white flowers, make sure you cover them with some paper towel. I'm actually spattering wet into wet. So those marks are going to sort of blend a little bit so they won't be so distinctive. I've let my painting dry now and I'm just building up the darks now in the centres of the flower. You can use a mixture again of the Paynes grey, a touch of yellow, whatever you might have left in your palette. I'm just painting some details now in the background just to kind of give it a little bit more interest, and now I'm spattering wet on dry so these marks sort of stay there. I'm actually spattering a little bit on top of the flowers just to kind of sort of push some of the edges back. I love spattering white as well. This is white gouache, but you could use white watercolour or even white acrylic, whatever you've got to hand. I'm using my twig now to sort of paint a little bit of detail on the actual petals, some of the veins in the petals, and I'm using my size 2 brush just to put some details in the centre. Not too much, just a little bit there, just to create a little bit of interest in the centre of the flowers, and I'm putting a few little dark accents here and there. You don't have to do this, but I'm using my twig. You could use a thin, small paintbrush like I did before, the size 2, but I'm dipping this into a little puddle of dark paint and sort of drawing around the outside edge. As you notice there, I've taken off my masking fluid, so we've got these lovely white, bright accents as well. So I'm just going around the edges of the flower to finish off. I thought I'd just give one last little spatter in the flowers and in the background just to stop me from fiddling. Remember, watercolour is less is more, and this stops me from doing the more. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I hope you liked it. I'm really pleased with my painting. If you'd like to see other tutorials like this, why not subscribe to my YouTube channel and you'll get updates of my latest videos. If you have any questions about this tutorial, please put them in the comments section below and I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. And if you have any questions about the Patreon membership, just put those in the comments section as well. Thank you again for watching. Happy painting. Bye for now.